We're here on the Euro-Yen 15-minute time frame, and this is a wedge pattern that's set up, and it's a particularly nice one as well. It's quite late, it's 9:15, but nevertheless this is a valid pattern. We've got enough room on the stop and the targets for this trade not to be stopped out during the changeover at GMT time, 2200 hours, and we've got a nice reward, just over a 2-to-1 risk reward here. What I'd like to do is bring over another chart and do our higher time frame analysis. Just before I do that, you can see we've got a nice pole here. We've got lovely fluid and harmonic movement inside the channel. If I do this, and these typically break to the upside, just like this. Now what I've done here is on the third test, what I need is the trend line to be tested, and then I need to see a positive candle. And so you can see there we've got a bullish candle, and that's all I need just to make sure that we haven't broken straight through on the first test. And let's bring over another chart and the dailies. Okay, so here we are on the daily time frame, and what we've actually done here is the market came up, we retraced, we put in a violation above this level but have not violated that level, and since then we've pulled back down to here. If we put a fib on, we've almost come into a 50% retracement, and if we take a closer look at what we've done over the past few days, it has been nothing but consolidation. Okay, so there's our first clue that we are currently in consolidation. With consolidation we get consolidation patterns, and at some point we do break out of that consolidation, and this wedge pattern could be the breakout. Now we've got a little bit more confirmation here on the 240. We were trending down, new structure low, outside return, new structure low, outside return, new structure, new structure low, outside return. This was just a new structure low, only just. Then the outside return, look left, structure leaves clues. And we came down again for another test. So right now we have had 2 tests of this area, and look at what the market is doing. We're running out of steam. Okay, we don't have a great deal of difference between this new structure low and this new structure low. We've already come up to retest the highs, and we've come back down here to retest the lows. So this is consolidation, but it's a sign that we're running out of momentum to the downside, because the new structure lows are getting lower and we've come all the way back up to retest the highs. So we could be looking here at a rotation, or at least for the short term a move up to this level. So that's going to be our first clue that we're looking for a bullish sign up to this zone. Then what you can do is look at the candles, and here on the 240 we see a very big bullish candle, and this was a higher high, higher close. It was a higher high, higher close than that candle, and we know that this structure level here has been tested several times and held now, and what we currently do is trading within that candle. So we now have an indication that price wants to go higher, and in doing that we then need to look for an entry reason. Now here on the 60 there isn't really a great deal, but if we drop down to the 15-minute and we apply what we've learnt, then what we actually get to see is we get to see quite a big, or a decent rally, a decent pole, and we then see the market respecting these trend lines. And you can see like this, we've now had 3 touches either side, and if I just zoom out, you'll actually see that here on the 15-minute, if I put a structure line at the top here, at the top of these closes, you'll actually see we've closed above all this structure. So that in itself is an indication as well that we could go higher. So standard targets for me on this trade, which is a 127. So targets will be up here, and that 127 fib extension just so happens to come in at the 130 psychological number. And if we look left for structure, you can see that we're kind of in the middle of a structure zone here. So I'm taking it because it's the 127 fib if we get up there, and also it's that psychological number. So let me delete that information off. Let's go back to our original account, which is here. And what we do then is, for me, stops go 10 pips below this swing low, and targets are that 127, and that then provides me 23 pips of risk for 50 pips of reward. High probability trade this, though the trade for me is valid anywhere from this third test down to this first test. So we do very often see price break out of the channel this way initially, maybe down to here, and then rally on up. Certainly that happens quite a lot. But these wedges that have 3 tests tend to be have a higher probability than the ones that only have 2 tests. So there is the trade. It is late now, so I probably won't have an update on this until the morning. And we're back for an update on this trade. The time is 6:50 in the morning, currently 28 pips up on this trade. We can see that in the night what happened. We got the breakout as we hoped that we would. We did come down for that third test, and we came down to retest the second test, held, rallied up. In the night we put in a 3-bar reversal, and what we're doing now is we're starting to return and hopefully going to make a new structure high here and carry on up and hit our targets. Because we have had the breakout and the market is starting to turn, I've reduced the risk down on this particular trade, so stops are at the bottom now of the first retest. I'm not anticipating price to come back down and retest these 2 tests at the bottom, or if we did, if we were to breach this, it's not a double bottom, but we've tested twice this structure level, then I would assume I'm wrong. So risk management implemented here, so the risk is now just 13 pips on this trade. Okay, a little update on this trade. We are currently now rallying towards targets, currently 45-46 pips up. We will come back and hopefully see this thing hit. Just to let you know that I'm front running targets here by 3 pips in front of the 130 flat. In fact, I'm just going to give this a minute because we are rallying up here. We're only 4 pips away, and we might be able to catch this thing rallying up and hitting targets. It's always nice to record these things completing. Okay, we've now come within 2 pips of my target, so what I can do is go ahead here and roll stops to a couple of pips past break even. We'd actually spiked up to 129.95, targets are 129.97. Okay, we are back, and we are just now 1 pip away from targets. And there we go, targets hit. That was for 51 pips. Do me a favour, as usual, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. And of course, don't forget to like the video.